A measure legalizing one strain of medical marijuana is now headed to the desk of Governor Rick Scott, where he is expected to sign it. The legislation allows doctors to prescribe a liquid form of the Charlotte's Web marijuana strain to patients suffering from frequent seizures. The Florida Senate gave final approval to the measure today after Governor Scott said yesterday he intends to sign it. And Governor Scott will also sign a bill granting in-state tuition to all qualifying Florida students regardless of their immigration status. The measure gives the tuition break to any student that has attended a Florida school for at least 3 years prior to graduation. After a heated debate, including many Republicans opposing the bill, the Florida House has given final approval to the measure. And now to break down those pieces of legislation and the latest from the final day of the 2014 legislative session, I'm joined by our political contributor, Tramel Gomes. Thank you for joining us again today. Can't believe it's the end of session.
Yes, Sine die. We're inching closer to sometime before, hopefully before midnight, but it could go longer. In sessions past, it's taken a long time to actually see that handkerchief drop. Or sometimes it hasn't even happened at all. It's been taking too long.
Yeah, exactly. The couple of things we want to talk about first is the medical marijuana passed today by the Senate, now heading to Governor Scott. Are you surprised at this? What does this mean?
I'm surprised that he is now embracing this. Governor Scott can no longer say, like, you know, where the charges that he's been placing towards former Governor Chris about being a flip-flopper. He was once against this issue, and now he's in support, and many are attributing this to his prospects to try and remain as governor as he seeks re-election.
Now, Attorney General Pam Bondi, is she opposed to this?
Now, Attorney General Pam Bondi, remember back in the day, same with the governor, they were putting forth an effort to block which is now on the ballot measure for the state to decide, but they were against it, and now, at least for the governor, he is out in support for seeing this medical strain go through.
Okay, sounds good. We're also talking the in-state tuition for undocumented immigrants. The Florida House gave their final approval. Bill's heading to Scott, another big issue. Yes,
another big issue, and it has changed from being once opposed to now supporting this. Now he is appealing to make sure he gets back into office, but for the far right, his base, those Tea Party supporters, it's not something that they would completely embrace, but he's doing it now, and it shows, like, you know, a change, and his disparity is, like, you know, he's flexing to what the people, or what he's seeing the needs are for the state as far as voters voicing their interest in this issue.
And of course the big ticket is the budget, the $77.1 billion budget. What are some key points in that budget?
The budget, this is what they're actually here for, lawmakers. This is the main thing that they're here for. So we're waiting until after 8:30 tonight to see them sign off on that budget. That's what keeps the state running. A big portion of that budget is going towards education. So that's the big portion of why they're here. And once they sign off on that budget, everything else and all those other controversial issues like vouchers and trauma care centers, those will be trickling in. Right now, it's like they're going through a stalling period right now. So as you're walking around the Capitol, which I was doing earlier, you're seeing some of the lobbyists and all of that are frustrated at some of the tactics that they pulled during the last minute of session.
Okay, real quick, I know we're out of time, but real quick, is there anything that surprised you that didn't pass the session?
What didn't pass this session? Pension reform.
Okay.
That's something that they were pushing for by legislative leadership, and it's a big issue in this community for all the state workers that we have. So after they tried for a second time this year and it didn't make it through, so that was a big blow, especially for our area, with those who are relying on the state for job opportunities.
Absolutely. Okay, Tramel Gomes, thank you for joining us. Last day of session. I guess congratulations. I guess it would be the correct
60 days, it's over.
Yeah, it is over. And of course, you're going to join us to break down the latest in politics Tuesday mornings on WTXL Sunrise, and also Thursday nights right here on the news at 6.